Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for access support. Any kind of updates and the such I usually go out on Twitter X. And this is the second time recording. Recently, yesterday, I had to update Windows and the firmware of the microphone and the such. I already recorded the episode here, but the other was completely off, not to my liking. But yeah, hopefully this is the second one is the way to go. And I completely forgot a lot of the stuff that I already mentioned here, but I got the articles here to support, and I think the message will be passed through as intended. Just a reminder that I've got some active gameplay series. Yesterday, I did manage to publish a Midnight Suns episode, even though I didn't do a gaming news program. And I'm trying to work on some demos here, so I can add up to the game demos that I'm trying out to see if it's something worth buying or not. At least the games that I want to try out. And then I already have a 4K complete gameplay series, which are the most recent ones before my interruption. And before that interruption, I got the older ones, 1080p. It's around 7 years old now. So yeah, I will eventually play out some of these games here or replay the games and do a new series here. But yeah, when I have time, I will sure be doing that. So let's go to the news. We got more Intel information given by them. Given that the most interesting GPU here is the B580, which is launching at $250 in the 13th of December. I think reviews will come out on the 12th. And of course, I really do recommend for us all to wait until those upcoming reviews come out. Usually, I follow up on Hardware Unbox and Gamers Nexus for those reviews. They are very comprehensive, and they usually do also an analysis regarding price to performance, regarding what we have already in the market. If all of this information given us by Intel is correct to a certain sense, I think we might have a good GPU, entry-level GPU, especially on the B580, given that the B570, it's a little bit cheaper, but in terms of performance, drops a little bit more than the price itself. But yeah, at least it's good to see that at least round about this price, we are having, at least from Intel, a minimum of 10 gigabytes of VRAM. Even though supposedly the 580 is trying to aim 1440p gaming at high frame rates, supposedly. But then again, we only have that for sure when the reviews come up. But if it really does deliver on this promise, even if it is not 1440p, at least 1080p, I think we might have a good GPU here for this price point, given that supposedly, according to Intel, it aims to deliver a performance between the 4060 and the 4060 Ti and be a lot cheaper than that, which is something that's very good. I think the 4060, being that only have 8 gigabytes of VRAM and performs, especially on 4040p, is a mess, but 1080p, yeah, it costs around 300 and something dollars, give or take, and the 4060 Ti is even more expensive. Yeah, if they can manage at least trying to compete with the 4060 Ti in terms of around 1080p on 4040p and maintaining this kind of price point, I think we might have a good GPU. But again, I prefer to wait on the reviews and have a better sense of how this is going to land. And hopefully, they will eventually launch higher end GPUs so they can start to compete with the next gen AMD and even NVIDIA GPUs. So the 5000 series from NVIDIA and the RDNA 4 or 8000 series from AMD. Maybe they are waiting for that to try and make a more official announcement. Again, we will supposedly have AMD and NVIDIA information regarding the next gen GPUs on CES, so in January next year. Maybe we'll get more information from Intel at that time on upcoming GPUs there. But yeah, let's wait and see. It seems good, but again, I reserve the right to further comment after the reviews come out. Then we got a little bit more of trickling down in terms of information regarding the RDNA4. This comes after a ROCm patch that supposedly is supporting the what we've been calling the RX 8800 and the 8600. Again, there is only this information, so supposedly the naming scheme will be this one, 8800 XT for the GPU, I suppose, and then the 8600 XT supposedly. I think this is more in line to try and put at least as a placeholder for the chip names like the Navi 48 and the Navi 44 for the 8800 and the 8600 respectively. But yeah, no performance information or nothing like that, or any kind of more kind of information regarding the specs of these GPUs. But yeah, so far the rumor seems to indicate that the top tier of RDNA4, in this case top tier being the Navi 48, should try to compete around the 4080-ish level of performance, hopefully, in terms of rasterization, and supposedly 4070 Ti Super in terms of ray tracing. We'll have to wait and see again. Again, we don't have first-party information from AMD regarding the intended performance levels of these RDNA4 GPUs. But yeah, we'll have to wait. But yeah, it seems to be on par or getting probably a good mid-range GPU class here on the 8800 XT if it really does match up with, I don't know, trying to compete with a 4080-ish roundabout that kind of level performance, consuming less power than the 7900 XTX, and of course improving a lot the ray tracing performance comparatively with the top tier RDNA free from themselves. In terms of VRAM, I think we have to be satisfied with 16. Probably they will on the refresh they will introduce something with 20 gigabytes of VRAM. I don't know. It's all up a little bit on the air regarding that. But yeah, hopefully they can deliver something good that appeals to the mass market, especially if the rumors are true that they are trying to aim the price point between $500 to $600. Performing at that level, I think we might have also a good launch there if things are in that direction. But yeah, in terms of hardware, this is what I got for you. In terms of gaming, we got a little bit more news from I think it's the co-founder of Arcane. I think it's co-founder, no, Arcane founder and series creator from Dishonored and Prey, if not mistaken. They already launched a game from under his new studio, which is WolfEye Studios, and the game was Weird West. It seems a pretty good game. I think it's kind of isometric, turn-based game with some RPG elements. It seemed pretty good from the reviews that I saw, and the fact that that Arcane is already shut down. There is no line in sight of having something similar like Dishonored or even Prey, given that I really enjoy Prey as an immersive sim. Got a lot of choices here and there to play that game, and some RPG elements to a certain extent that were used on Prey. Some more exploration on those mechanics will be nice, and it seems that's the plan for Rafael Colantonio, which was again Arcane founder and series creator of Dishonored and, if not mistaken, Prey, is teasing out that they are working on something in that level. And some quotes here saying people who love Dishonored and Prey are going to feel very at home. It's uncompromised, we are just going full on that kind of game in the way we create worlds, the way we let choices to the player. And I think there are going to be even more choices this time because of the RPG layer. We'll have a lot of different ways to do things. The game will be played in first person like Dishonored, and he also confirmed that will feature shooter-like gameplay, which is more in line with Prey. Got the weapons there that we use to go about the puzzles and the challenges, while Dishonored is more like a melee stuff there with some magic things integrated on the gameplay. But yeah, it seems we might have a good game coming out. And this goes in line to a certain extent with all these studios that have some pedigree, being Arcane, Obsidian, CD Projekt Red. We've been seeing that throughout these at least 5 years or so. A lot of the co-founders or the founders or even game directors from excellent games that we saw from those studios, they've been being or let go or went about their ways and founding their own indie studios, let's say, to do their own projects that they want to go through. And we'll be seeing some really good games. One of these is Weird West, which seems to be a decent game. And I think from CD Projekt Red, we got at least a couple of studios that were founded from previous developers and also ex game directors and the such in more senior positions. And yes, some of them were poached for the developer of, I forgot the name, that is announcing a sequel, Warhorse Studios, something like that. Yeah, they've been moving out, even for example from BioWare and the such. That's why you've been having a lot of slop coming out of those renowned studios, let's say, because again, the creative minds and directors and senior positions, they went out and they filled with people that seemingly don't know how to do the games. But yeah, it goes in line that to reinforce that this idea that again, these renowned studios, they are not what they used to be. So yeah, always taken with a grain of salt with the when these renowned studios come out with a new game. Usually, at least the proof is in the pudding that they are not being launching very good games. But yeah, hopefully I will try to keep my track on this new game that was teased by Rafael Colantonio, and I will bring news when I see one. In other stuff, we got Stalker 2. Another patch was launched. 103 more bug fixes and crashes resolved supposedly, and it's at least good to see, even though they launched the game in not the best way possible, mainly because of even on the main mission, on the main story stuff there was a lot of bugs that prevented progress until the end of the game. When the game was launched, I think it's something that should not have been done by launching the game in that state. But again, I see some news that justification was that the developers were exhausted or something like that. Again, I didn't understand very well, but my assumption is they, given that this game was in development for a long time, and given that they had their own difficulties developing this game, yeah, I will assume that they couldn't delay more, and they needed some revenue income to maintain the studio open without any big issues. Given, and I think to a certain degree they took the right option, at least for them, given that the game already sold around 1 million copies. And injected some revenue on the studio, and they are been working hard. Again, this is the third major patch delivered since the game was launched in, I don't know, almost 2 weeks, which at least goes in line of them trying to put the game in a better state. And hopefully, when I play this game, I'm interested because I played at least the first game from the first trilogy. I remember playing some Stalker game. I don't remember if it was the first, the second, or the third. I remember playing them a long time ago. But and I enjoyed the kind of the way they approach the setting and the game mechanics, they are very interesting, and hopefully this one will be something to at the same level, at least from my recollection when I played those games. Then we got also Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. PC requirements have come out. Um, the game engine itself, I think, is kind of a variation of the Vulcan one. Uh, Vulcan, I think it's no, the ID. Sorry, ID Tech, a game engine, um, the same one that Doom uses. So usually it tends to be a very light engine on resources, and the minimum specs here seems to be to go in line with that in terms of CPU and even GPU stuff, even though the GPU needs to have ray tracing hardware capable of doing that to process ray tracing to be for this game to be playable. Even though again the GPU themselves are a little bit on the older side. For example, we've got a 2060 Super, which has 8 gigabytes of VRAM, and even the 6600 and even the Intel Arc A580 are the minimum requirements for this. The good thing here on the additional notes on this PC requirements list is the fact that they really are very detailed here, and it's something that I would like to see in the upcoming PC requirements list for other games that are coming out, which is, for example, they are very specific, GPU hardware ray tracing required. Then they aim for the graphics preset, which at this case is low, and then the resolution 1080 native. And when it's not native, they say what the upscale is and the preset quality of that upscaler, depending on the GPU stuff. And they also put the target of FPS. Again, I really like to see this more because it's very detailed and people get a better notion of what their hardware is going to be capable of when trying to play this game or any other game that comes out with this kind of notes. You can see here, for example, on the side of full ray tracing requirement, sorry, if you want to play on Ultra, you got the CPU stuff, the GPU, which in this case is a 4090, and then they say that in the additional notes, the configurations and what to expect with those configurations. In this case, the GPU hardware ray tracing required. Again, and with the 4090, you have to have DLSS free with frame generation and super resolution preset on performance to get 4K resolution upscaled, which is using the performance stuff. So 1080p upscaled to 4K and target FPS of 60, and using the graphic preset on Ultra. You will get this target frame rates with the resolution there. It's always good to see, so you can get a better idea. If you can, for example, if you want more FPS, you might get lower a little bit the graphic preset, or if you want a better on the upscaling preset, if you want to use quality, you can downgrade a little bit also the graphic preset to maintain the 4K 60. Again, you can see where this can go. But yeah, the thing that interesting most here is the Ultra, so 4K native 60 frames per second, and using the graphic preset Ultra, you will need a 4080 without, again, the 4080 without this non-super, and then you can reach that kind of results also with the 7900 XT. I think this requirement for the GPU stuff is more for VRAM purposes, given that you will have the graphic preset on Ultra, so more VRAM will be needed to be used. Even though, again, we've been seeing a lot the memory in terms of RAM, the demands coming up more and more, especially on ultra settings. I already have 32 gigabytes of RAM, which is more than good, and the storage, of course, 120 gigabytes of storage needed. Again, I will assume this is more because of textures and the such. Be seeing also in these upcoming years a little bit demanding in terms of storage. Again, it has to do more with the fact that the textures and everything, they need more space for the game to run at higher qualities. That's why the storage is more demanding at this point in time. But yeah, other than that, I don't see anything wrong with the specs here or anything that comes out of the ordinary. Again, a full ray tracing requirements. Again, basically only NVIDIA can handle this, especially at ultra. In this case, 4K 60. Uh, Even though you will need to use the frame generation and the upscaling from NVIDIA to reach 4K 60 when you want this high demanding kind of image quality here. Again, for me, I don't see huge amounts of in terms of ray tracing. I don't see the need to use this. Usually, I'm not paying attention if the light reflects. You can notice this more on kind of reflections, like on windows or even mirrors, and even on puddles of water or water reflections. You can notice this, but it's not something that you usually are looking for when playing a game, especially on action games. That's why when I bought my GPU, was not worried about the ray tracing performance of that GPU. That's why I got the 7900 XTX. In terms of rasterization, it performs very well. I'm pretty satisfied so far with that. But that's my personal case use of the GPU there. I usually don't follow up on ray tracing, and I don't even bother too much, because even if you have a 4090, the hit in terms of performance when you turn on ray tracing is a little bit too much, so it doesn't compensate the quality level in terms of, in this case, reflections and illumination. Doesn't the improvement of the image doesn't compensate the performance hit that you have on your hardware to enjoy the game fully. But yeah, it's a case by case scenario depending on the person that wants to play the game as he wants, and even depends on the game itself. But yeah, this is what we got regarding the Indiana Jones in terms of PC requirements. I will talk a little bit more in the next article, which is the fact that there is some speculation that Xbox is already writing off this game before it even comes out. Again, this is a speculation comes from Grumps, which kind of makes sense because, again, it releases Friday, so tomorrow, and there is zero marketing. The only marketing that I've been seeing here and there, it's been on when I watch YouTube videos. On the ads from time to time, it might pop out the latest trailer that they launch. Nothing more. We don't see any behind the scenes, no developers trying to hype up players, or the game director coming out and uh, telling us about what this game is all about, to try and up to try hype interest on the game itself. And the fact that at least supposedly the game will come with the Nuvo, at least on the review copies. Supposedly, when the game launches, will not include the Nuvo, which is something weird, given that they say that the Nuvo was only included in review builds for leak precautions. I don't know how you're going to. I don't know what kind of settings or what kind of the Nuvo can do to prevent leaks. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, suppose it's not going to be on a final release. But yeah, it's a fact of there is no marketing. We'll have to assume that they are trying to save on marketing so they can write off the development costs. So it doesn't make sense for them to spend too much on marketing on this game, given that the game is launching tomorrow. We don't see like banners and more videos, or even on IGN you don't see too much kind of sponsored content from them. But yeah, it seems that they might write off here, and the fact that again the game is not pulling a lot of interest in terms of, for example, on wish listed, most wish listed upcoming games on Steam, it's only in 26th, and in terms of top sellers, in it is on the position 110, which is not good for a game that is coming out very soon. Again, and the reviews also are only coming at the same time that the game has access for advanced access, whatever they are calling this. The reviews will come up when players have this advanced access to the game, which is can be had if you buy the super duper edition of the game. Again, doesn't bode well the confidence that they have on this game. I think they know they have a shitter in their hands, and they are trying to avoid as much as I can to avoid bad or negative attention to this game. But yeah, it is what it is. Even here, I completely forgot. We got some Google trends. It's worse than Dragon Age Veilguard for an IP as Indiana Jones it is. I think also the fact that the movies were not that good lately, at least the last one. Dial of Destiny. Yeah, it even brings less attention to this. Again, when the movie came out, a lot of attention was brought to the game, to the movie. Sorry, and now even when the game is coming out, there is no attention being brought to this game. Again, different medias, but again, it's about the trend in terms of searches for this game, and yeah, it's not boding well for them. We got also one of I think 2 trailers ago or something like that. There was that developers giving their one sentence, and basically there was like a senior developer, I think, that said basically this is for modern audiences. Again, just screwing the pooch. We've been seeing a lot of these trends on Xbox and Microsoft on doubling down on stupid, on this kind of DEI nonsense. But then again, it's has to do all about with financial incentives on the higher ups more than the most developers. But then again, I don't know. Doesn't seem that this game is going to do very well. And then lastly, we got more Ubisoft shit shows happening. XDefiant is going to be closing uh, June next year. And yeah, it's officially closing down. This news came from, sorry, internal all hands meeting that took place today. So emergency meeting, I suppose, to tell everybody that the game is going to be shut down. The studio supposedly is also going to be shut down, which is in San Francisco studio. Again, who would have guessed that? And are some refunds coming out, especially for the people that bought the Ultimates Founder Pack will be refunded. I don't know how that will go. But yeah, we think that this game was not doing well on financial reports from Ubisoft. They were underperforming. I think there was some stuff happening regarding the scheme that they have for battle passes or whatever they are called. They tried to tweak those out, and people were not satisfied. And I think they then went back and reverted those changes, something like that. But yeah, it doesn't look good. Another studio closing down and another game that is being shut down by Ubisoft. We had Star Wars Outlaws, didn't go well. We got even the Prince of Persia game that didn't go well, even though the game seems to be good enough. But again, didn't sell well. And then we got the upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows that, for all intents and purposes, seems to be down the drain in terms of everything from the attention that it's getting and supposedly the sales that is going to get when it comes out. I don't think that game is going to be good either way, even if they take the advantage of remaking the game from scratch. It will not be a good game. The harm is done on that brand, and Ubisoft is doubling down also on stupid and triple down on these DEIs and acronym mafia stuff there. Uh, yeah, you will get what you deserve. In the end, as consumers, we need to vote with our wallets and make our message heard in that way. And hopefully, they will learn with that. But yeah, unless they start turning around, will continue to happen for the foreseeable future. And yeah, just vote with your wallet. Always never pre-order. Always wait for trusted reviewers from you to get an opinion on that game. And then if you like it, just buy it. And that's that. It's the only advice that I can give you regarding games. Don't pre-order. Wait for reviews. Wait at least a couple of weeks to see the the feedback from consumers to see if it really is that good and if congruent with the reviews that you saw. And then if you think it is something that you like, you can buy it. And as always on Steam, you can buy it, and after 2 hours, if you don't like it, you can just refund the game if it's not something that you are interested there. But yeah, other than that, it's the news part here. Let's go for some gaming news. Steam autumn sale has wrapped up, but we still have some games on sale. We got Children of Morta 75% off. We got No Man's Sky 60% off. Excellent game at this point in time. We got Dome Keeper. If you're not sure if this game is for you, you got the demo here. I will be trying to see if I can play this demo during this year and launch a video there. But it's 60% off on the base game. Then you got Wartales, 50% off on the base game also. Then you got the Thaumaturge, 40% off, and finally the Invincible, 35% off on the base game. On GOG, we got Alien Isolation, the collection. Again, this is a recommendation for me. I play this game. I got a gaming series on this one, an older one, 1080p, but still, I think it's still worth it, this price point. If you're not sure, you can check the first episode to get a better sense of what this game is all about. But yeah, it's got my recommendation here, and I will be replaying this game in the future in 4K to see how it fares still. But yeah, from the my feedback so far is still positive. I don't see any issues with this game here. Then you got Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut, 85% off, and then the sequel Mankind Divided. This is the Super Duper Edition, 85% off. And lastly, we got Wall World. Even when it's not on sale, I do recommend this game full price, especially with the Deep Threat DLC. It expands a little bit on the story, and it's got like new combat challenges there. Again, they got the mining gameplay mechanic here. Then we got the tower defense wave gameplay mechanic, got the permanent upgrades, and the story is very interesting by itself. And to a certain extent, it set up itself to a sequel of some sort, hopefully, because I really did enjoy this game. It's got my stamp of approval here. But yeah, other than that, I will wrap up here for today, guys, with a plug on my Patreon for access support. This access support is more in line for me to be able to get backups, a better storage solution to get backups for the stuff that I do for my clients, and also some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.